Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. My 46 female's daughter, 24 female, is getting married soon, and she and her fiancé were struggling to cover the costs of the wedding. Recently, they asked my new husband, 52 male, for financial help, and he gave them a very generous 15,000 as a loan, but he insisted that they didn't have to pay it back. He's very well off, so it wasn't a problem for him. I was a bit surprised when she asked him because she's never really liked him. She was always distant, which I understood because her father, my late husband, passed away 9 years ago, and it has been hard for her to accept someone new in my life. Anyway, things seemed to be going smoothly until yesterday. My aunt called me in a panic and asked why I wasn't stopping M from attending the wedding. M is my husband's ex-wife, and their history is bad. She made his life a living hell during and after their divorce 15 years ago, taking him for everything he was worth in the divorce and continuing to harass him to this day. She's a distant relative and a daughter of a closer acquaintance of my grandfather, but she's never invited to our family events ever. When I confronted my daughter about it, she admitted that she went out of her way to invite M. Her reasoning? My wedding, my invitees. She said that she's trying to foster more connections in the family, and M was close to my grandfather, so she thought it would be a nice gesture. I called her bull. She knows what M put my husband through and how hard it's been for him to move on from her harassment. I told my daughter that if M is invited, I won't attend the wedding. My husband would be uncomfortable with her there, and honestly, I feel like it's a slap in the face to invite his ex-wife after he's been so generous with the wedding expenses. My daughter got really upset and said that I was being unfair and making her wedding about me. I feel really bad. I want to be there for her big day. She's my only child. But I'm so unhappy about this crap she's pulling. Should I just suck it up for the sake of my daughter's wedding, or am I right to put my foot down? Update. So, I finally had the conversation with my daughter, and as expected, it didn't go smoothly. I told her that if she insisted on inviting M, I wouldn't attend the wedding. She broke down in tears and was really upset. But eventually, she agreed not to invite M. I'm not sure how she plans to handle it with M, but that's a problem to figure out. I also pointed out that M could be vexed and try to pull something, so I suggested she have some security in place just in case. Now, my daughter is distraught, probably because I brought up the idea of potential drama, but I told her I have no sympathy for her. She brought this upon herself. For now, my husband still doesn't know anything about this. I didn't want to stress him out or put my daughter in a bad light. Hopefully everything goes smoothly from here, but I'm still anxious about what could happen. Edit. She hasn't sent out the official invites yet. She's still giving everyone a heads up of her wedding date. I might also like to add, M has also been institutionalized for her mental health issues. My daughter had no idea of this. I'm glad you were able to sort this issue out before your husband found out, OP. I don't understand what your daughter was thinking about when she invited M, but I know it's nothing good. She shouldn't have invited your husband's ex-wife for any reason, especially not after he was generous enough to give her and her fiancé a loan, and is essentially footing the bills for the wedding. I hope her day goes well without any issues. But if M gets angry and causes drama over this, your daughter deserves it, and I hope your husband is nowhere near the drama. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girlfriend because she needs closure? Backstory. This girl and I have been really hitting it off this semester. We have had 2 months as a friend and a month as a couple. We are young but have matured in order for our relationship to keep going forward. When we go out together, I feel like she's not there. She keeps conversations to herself and says it's nothing. She has been telling me she has deja vus of her ex and is getting under my skin. She was in a psychological abusive relationship and she calls herself damaged goods. She believes she's not good enough for me, but she's the only girl I want to be with. Today, I got annoyed by her not being able to vibe with me. She was just in her head while I tried to make interesting conversations. I asked what was keeping her from being herself, and she said she wanted closure. Closure from her ex, as her and her ex didn't tie those loose ends. The only way she could do this was in person. In my head, I feel like she has some feelings in her, and I was not going to get hurt by being in the middle of it. I told her that I needed to let her go so she can truly decide what she wants, and that I would wait till the end of the semester for her. She treats me real nice and I miss her. I made her cry. As of now, I do not know if I dodged a bullet or lost the only person I care about. Thank you everyone for your input. I don't have many people who would genuinely care, but you guys made me feel like you did. As of now, we agreed that she will try to tie all her loose ends, and by the end of the week, she will have a serious answer. You're not an a-hole, OP. You remove yourself from a potentially damaging situation. If she still has feelings for her ex, you're going to be caught in the middle of their mess, and that's not healthy. Your ex-girlfriend is probably really damaged, and I feel she does need that closure. But I also think she needs a break from relationships. She needs to heal all by herself, and if you can be with her as a friend, as that happens, I'm sure she will come out of it as a better person. I wish you both good luck, OP. Now for some comments. Nope, you told her the truth, and I think that is the non-a-hole call in these situations. Sometimes you have to make tough calls. I'm sure you cared about her and she cared about you, but it was clear she needed to deal with feelings having to do with her ex before she was ready for a new relationship. You saw this made you incompatible and made a decision based on that, not the a-hole. Sounds like she's a bit messed up from it all. I tried for a while to get some sort of closure from my ex. Eventually, I realized I would never get it because I would never be able to rationalize his behavior. And while I wasn't perfect, the cheating and abuse, etc., was on him and not my fault. The epiphany helped me move out, but it did take some time. So you're not the a-hole. I'm not sure she's either though. I tried to move on before I was ready with a similar result. You made the right call. Nobody is ever the a-hole for getting out of a relationship that isn't working anymore. Whether it's been one date or 50 years of marriage, if it's over, what happens next is that you're supposed to be as honest and kind as possible. You haven't married her, she's your girlfriend. You've gone into it with good intentions and you haven't mistreated her. You have simply accepted the developing situation and taken a step back. The point of dating is to get to know a person without the pressure to decide straight away whether you're interested in a commitment. No matter how sad her backstory is, you are allowed to break up with her, and it's reasonable for her to cry. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for not lowering the price of the car I'm selling to my daughter? I had plans on selling my car, 2012 Prius, mileage about 85,000. Has a hole in the back from when I accidentally backed into a truck, for $9,000 to my daughter when she goes off to college. I told her that it was a great deal because she already knows how to drive that car, and it costs much less than buying a used one from somewhere else. Well, I got in an accident with that car 2 weeks ago, and while it wasn't totaled and is still drivable, we had to get the light fixed. I agreed to pay for the cost of the repairs since I was the one who was driving when the accident happened. However, my daughter insists that I lower the price on the car when I sell it to her, since a car that's been in an accident is worth less than one that has been in one, and that this is the 3rd time I've had an accident in that car. I think that's ridiculous that I would have to lower the price, especially since a car that's been in 3 accidents isn't that different from a car that's been in 2. And I told her exactly that. She's still bugging me that I should lower the price, even telling me that her friend's mom bought her daughter a car because she had good grades. And the least I could do was lower the price to $8,000 or even $7,000. I keep telling her that that's not how it works in my household. But now even my husband is telling me that I should just give in and drop the price. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for not lowering the price on a wrecked car that's already been wrecked before? Now for some comments. You're the a-hole. And what are you saying about a car that's been in 3 accidents is no different than a car that's been in 2? The difference is that it has been wrecked an entire 3rd time. $9,000 for that car without any accidents is expensive enough. You should be lowering it way down after 3. Your daughter should look around for something else because she will find a much better deal on a car that hasn't been crashed 3 times. You're the a-hole. A quick check on KBB says $9,000 is on the higher end for a Prius and most of the time sells closer to $7,000 or $8,000. You have had 3 accidents in this car. 3. You shouldn't have been charging her $9,000 to begin with. I think it's pretty wild you're price gouging your own kid. Also, I agreed to pay for the cost of the repairs since I was the one who was driving when the accident happened. Yeah? And you also hadn't sold the car to your daughter. I'm just confused why you say this like you're doing her a favor. You can't sell someone an effed up car at full price, Karen, just because you had agreed on a price before the accident. You're the a-hole. Initially, I just thought you didn't understand that more accidents do depreciate a car's value. But after reading the comments, I see that you've been told this already and still aren't admitting fault. That car will not be worth $9,000 anymore, and trying to force your daughter to pay that, with money she earned herself, I might add, makes you the a-hole. At the absolute most, you should be selling it for its exact value. If you were selling it to a stranger who was willing to pay above value, fine. Caveat emptor and all that, but it's not. It's to your daughter. There is no reason why she shouldn't take the $9,000 and buy a car from somewhere else.